end this live. We're going to start the live again.
Just of your health, then tomorrow is going to...
Sorry. Getting the live going. I forgot to change the title of the live. I don't know. They did this new thing on TikTok where you can title your lives, and I forgot to change that one. Hello. How are you? All right, so today is the day where I do an energy check-in. I'll check with the cards and see what's going on. And then I will, after we're done with the cards, we're going to do a global meditation. Now, today it's going to be a little bit delayed, the global meditation, and that's because I have someone stopping by to drop off something. And so I don't want to start the meditation and then have it interrupted with that. So we're going to check in with some cards. I am displaying or showcasing my own deck of cards that I created. This is it's called Etherian Tarot. I'm not sure why that. Oh, I didn't even go live on that yet. Hang on a second. Hello, how are you? I apparently didn't click the live button. That's all right. We're live now on all the channels. So I am live on multiple channels. So you'll see me looking in different directions. So just be prepared for that. I'm going to do a check-in, like I said, with my cards. These are my personally, I created this deck. It's the Etherian Tarot. It is a special tarot deck in that it has the fifth element, plus it has a special card called the Cosmic Key. It is really an advanced system for tarot, but it can also be a regular system as well. You can always take out the ether suit, and you can also take out the Cosmic Key and just have a regular tarot deck. So I'm going to check in on the energy with the collective. And how are you doing? All right, let's see what's going on for the collective today, Spirit. Can I get a good message? Okay, that one was, we're a hard stop on that. Anything else, Spirit? Can get some more cards for the collective. All right. Hi, Jess. Say hi and tap on the screen. If you're watching, please tap. Those likes will allow it to reach other people. What else is going on for the collective, Spirit? Can we get a good message? Hi, how are you? Where are you from? Where are you at this point in time in life? Are you in Canada? Are you American? I have people that show up from all over. All right, are we almost done with? There was one more card. I felt it coming. We'll see. Maybe that was it. They were like, nope, we changed our minds. That's it. That's where we're headed. Okay. We're going to run some other cards. Nice. I've been to Winnipeg. I've traveled to Winnipeg a couple of times. I've driven across the country numerous times, but I used to work as a flight nurse, and I had a flight that landed in Winnipeg, which was kind of exciting. I won't say why. There's some reasons why it was exciting. But yeah, been there a couple of times, kind of crazy. I'm in Alberta from Ontario. But yeah, nice to have you here. Okay, so we're going to do the energy check-in. Like I said earlier, in case you missed the little message, normally I try to start the meditation right at 11. Unfortunately, today it may be late starting the global meditation. So if you're wanting the global meditation, you can stick around or hang on for a little bit. Just because I'm waiting for somebody to drop something off, and I really don't want to interrupt the meditation. So we'll just hang out and play. And maybe today, if it takes a little while for her to get here, I'll give some cards, right? Like how nice would that be? Okay. So the first card that came out was the Five of Water, but the Five of Water was in the inverted or the reversed position. So what the Five of Water is talking about is its release, right? There's emotional loss, regret, disappointment. Oops, sorry. I was giving you the upright. Some cards in the upright. So in the reverse, sorry, I forgot this one did actually come up reversed, even though I said that. All right. So we got emotional recovery, acceptance, moving forward, shifting perspectives, gratitude for what still exists. That's a much more powerful energy, and it coincides with the other stuff that we're looking at today. So congratulations, whatever you were working through, whatever was affecting you emotionally, you've gotten to the point now where, oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so the Five of Water is teaches you that loss is part of the human experience, but it does not define you. Even in the darkest moment, light remains. Look for the hidden blessing and trust that healing is taking place. Like even in all of this dark, there's still that little bit of light, that little jellyfish, right, swirling out. So always look for the light. It was like Mr. Rogers used to say, right? You look for the helpers. I call them angel helpers, right? Like, so I live in a remote space, and I have my car broke down, and I'm pretty stranded, and I just moved out here, so I don't have a lot. I have connections from a long time ago, from when I lived here before, but I don't have any current connections that are, able really. So I posted in a group, and some lady from a buy and sell, she came and tried to help me out, but we couldn't get the car going. And so anyway, she's bringing me some groceries, a couple of groceries, some staples. And so she's on my list as an angel helper, which means that I put her on my list of blessings, and I wish, that miracles happen for her, because that's just such a sweet thing. She didn't have to. Like, after she came to help me start the car, that could have been the last time that I saw her. But she checked in to see if I needed stuff. She's headed this way. And if I needed a few things, she would grab them for me. So, like those are very special people. I don't know this lady, never met her, right? And she's somebody that, it makes me emotional, just like a little bit. And verklempt is the word. I love that word. Okay. So I've been through this part of it, and I'm at this point now where I'm looking at what happened, and I'm appreciating the lessons from it and the growth that I've had from it. And now that feeling of like moving forward and releasing that energy. The next card that came out was the Six of Ether. And the Six of Ether, so this is from the extra suit, right? We have 5 elements, and most tarot decks only have 4, but it makes sense because of suits, right? So the Six of Ether is passage through the cosmic veil. There's a cosmic shift. There's a passage through an energetic gateway, leaving behind dense realities, moving towards peace and clarity, and assistance from higher realms. So that sounds pretty good. So we're elevating ourselves as we work through the stuff that affects us, as we work through our triggers and our traumas and all of that stuff. As we let them go, we actually elevate, like we raise our vibration. The more that we are inundated with the emotion of fear, guilt, shame, those really heavy, they weigh us down. They literally darken us. So as we release the traumas, and we, do our shadow work, and we put the light in those spaces, we literally elevate, we raise our vibration. And that's what's happening to us now. And maybe it's a little bit of a helping hand. So the Six of Ether is a sacred passage. You are moving into higher awareness, into alignment with your divine mission, and into deeper resonance with universal flow. Embrace the shift, trust the journey, and step through the veil into your highest timelines. I don't know who's like, you guys are doing fantastic work, right? We worked through the emotional. Now we're getting the upgrade. Okay. The next card that came out is the 8 of Water. And I know this card really well from regular tarot, but also from this deck. So when you see the 8 of Water, it means that you're letting go of something and you're walking away from it. Maybe you were searching for the truth and you found it, and you went, hey, enough is enough. I'm out of here. I'm done. Hey, Nikki. Thanks, love. How are you doing? This is a huge growth, right? You're going through this inner growth. You are transforming spiritually, and there's this emotional detachment. You've realized, like, whatever this was, you've grieved it. You've let it go. You're ready to see the truth and walk through the doorway. You're ready to let go. And so the 8 of Water reminds you that growth requires movement. And sometimes that means walking away from the familiar. Your soul is guiding you towards something far more fulfilling, far more fulfilling. Trust the process and step forward with courage. Hi, Carol. Hello, love. How are you? So lots of great cards there. And guess what? Now we get the King of Water. So this has been super emotional, this whole transformation. But you know what this means? This means that you've mastered it. The King of Water is the master of emotions. It's fantastic. And we've got that 6 of Ether, so it's a level up, right? This is just beautiful. All right. King of Water, emotional balance, wisdom, compassion, leadership, intuition, and stability. The King of Water calls you to embrace emotional mastery, lead with wisdom, and trust your intuition. True power lies in understanding emotions without being ruled by them. That's such a huge thing. I'm doing fantastic. The global meditation is going to be a little bit late today because I have an angel helper coming and bringing me a couple of staples. So I'm I'm very happy. I'm sending blessings her way for sure. Cause it's just, when you're in a situation like this, it's quite nice because she's a complete stranger. All right. So I told you guys, because it's Easter weekend, that I was going to pull some cards from the 44 Keys of the Way Oracle deck. So this is based on the teachings of Yeshua and other spiritual other important historical figures have also taught this, not just Yeshua. But anyway, so I'm going to display this deck for today. And while we're waiting, I will pull cards for you guys. Like there's not, we'll get some individual cards since I'm waiting. And we can talk about things too. Okay. Whoa. These cards have no reverse. They're straight up. They're just straight up cards. And not all times do you want a card that has the reverse anyway. Like sometimes you just want the straight message. Just give me the details. Just give me the facts, ma'am. But I love these cards. So all of these cards, all of the images on the other cards, I did those images in Procreate. All of the images here, I painted them in watercolor. Ho, ho, ho. Thanks, Nikki. I just adore you. I love your stuff. It makes me laugh. Canada, man. All righty. So I'm so excited to show these cards. Oh my God. Okay. Somebody, when you were a kid and you used to do stuff like as a hobby, you used to paint and stuff like that. And you never ever thought like those sketches or those paints that they would ever turn into, things like these cards. I would have never thought that I was going to be creating like these images and stuff like that, or painting these and then showing them to people. Sorry, a little cough, but that's okay. Oh. Mm-hmm. All right. So we've got the trial. So these cards are straightforward. Every single card has an affirmation, a remembrance, and a practice. So the trial, your affirmation is challenges refine my strength. The remembrance, difficulty exposes structure. What holds under pressure is what is real. Trials are feedback, not verdicts. Skill grows through response. So your practice is to name the challenge, extract one lesson, and then apply that lesson today. Okay, so that's the first card that came out, or one of the cards that came out. The next card we've got is the turning point. And the turning point, the affirmation is, I allow life to redirect me when needed. The remembrance, redirection is not failure. It is course correction. Stopping one path opens another. Flexibility preserves energy. Practice, identify one area to pivot. Define a new direction and take one aligned action. The next card that came out is the Shared Humanity card. Shared Humanity card. The affirmation is, I am collected with all life. The remembrance is, recognizing commonality reduces isolation and judgment. Connection supports cooperation. Respect improves interaction quality. Practice, make eye contact. 2, offer a simple kindness. And 3, this is a big one. Many of us miss out on this one, and that is continue without expectations. So many of us, we're not very generous. We think we're generous, but we're really not. When we're giving to somebody something, we're giving it with that little bit on the end of, when's it coming back to me? There's that, if I give you this, what are you going to do for me energy that's out there, because we've lost the concept of what true generosity means. I'm wearing a shirt today that says Hugs for Homeless. That's my nonprofit. It's based in Edmonton and it serves surrounding areas. And so that's my way of giving back. And I also give back through my work right here, showing up and helping people. All right, next card is the clear boundary. So the affirmation is, healthy boundaries protect my energy. Your remembrance, boundaries define responsibility. They support honest connection. Saying no preserves alignment. Your practice, identify one misaligned request. 2, decline with one sentence. And 3, do not over-explain. You do not need to explain your reason for why you're doing things. You don't need to explain your boundaries to people. You say it clearly, directly, and then it's all about enforcing it. And for many of us, we lose out on the enforcing thing. I'll talk about a story. I'll give you a little talk about that in a moment. So the last card that came out from these ones is called the Returning Light, and it's number 44 on the 4-4 portal. So yay. The affirmation is, I return again and again to the light within. Remembrance. Return is the mechanism of alignment. The light remains accessible at all times. Repetition stabilizes access. So we're going to close our eyes for 1 minute. Okay, for 1 minute, we're going to feel the body and we're just going to say, I return to the light. Okay, so just close your eyes for 60 minutes. I like to put my hand on my chest. Focus on your body, maybe even to put your awareness into the heart space and see a little flame there growing bigger as you focus on it. And that's it. You're not doing anything else. You're just in your body with your awareness there. I return to the light. Okay, so you can continue to do that as well. Okay, who would like a card while I wait for my staples to show up? We'll sit and hang out, and I can tell you a little story about boundaries. I had a problem with boundaries. I grew up with a lot of trauma, and I grew up with a lot of people who crossed my boundaries or where it was expected, right? If you grow up in a home where you are physically abused, sexually abused, and those things, there's a violation on your boundaries, right? Someone is imposing upon your boundaries, and you don't have the opportunity to really say no, don't. And even if you do, maybe what comes after no, don't is a threat of some sort. Maybe when you say, I don't want this, what ends up happening is you lose some security or safety that you have. So many of us got trained through those types of experiences where we couldn't have boundaries. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't have boundaries. And my boundaries were violated at very young ages and consistently throughout my entire childhood. And I continued because of how I was taught to allow people to cross my boundaries. I really had a hard time saying no, and especially to men, because I had a whole bunch of fear. I had fear that I would be hurt, either physically or sexually, emotionally, spiritually, something. I had fear that I might even get murdered because I had threats given to me before. I have to be careful what I say here, so I don't get censored or banned. I had all kinds of things happen. And there was also the fear of losing security or stability or like a roof over your head, right? Like there was actually those fears there as well. So that created, as an adult, a woman who had difficulties enforcing any boundaries, especially when it came to the male sex, and definitely in intimate or in relationships, because the longer that the more that you are connected, the more entwined or enmeshed that you are with somebody, or the bigger that the relationship, the harder that it is to say no, because there's more on the line, right? And of course, like most people, I mean, anybody with trauma was really taught this, but anybody who, is religious, anyone who is, pretty much all of society, we got taught to seek outside of ourselves for the very thing that would fix what's broken, right? We're either not pretty enough, not sexy enough, so we got to go, get all these medications, or we got to get all these surgeries, or we got to buy all these cosmetics, we got to buy all these fancy clothes, we got to be changing our clothes all the time because you got to be fashionable, and so on and so forth. We got taught that, from religion, that we were born sinning. We were born with something wrong with us, and that we had to repent for the rest of our lives, and, hope that at some point we repented enough and we were allowed back in. Right. And that's not the case at all. Even the government standing above us and saying we have to somehow give our authority to them. Like they somehow know better what's best for us or what's best for our children. We can say they absolutely do not. We have seen what they're doing. And if you don't know what they're doing, you need to go check out the files. And I shouldn't have to say the name in front of those. You should just know what I mean. And if you're that far off track, then you really, really need to start investigating the truth. If you don't know who Epstein is or haven't heard of the files, then you really, really need to open your eyes to what's going on right now. So boundaries, they get really, really hard. And as we're healing and you start to understand like why you have some of those issues, right? Why you have those issues with boundaries, and you're getting stronger, you believe in yourself, you have trust in yourself, hey, I've been doing it this long, and, I've been taking care of myself pretty good. But every layer is just pulling back a little bit more. So many people have a hard time with boundaries. And recently I have found that I have finally healed that. I was very much able to, when I was in a situation where relationship, stability, all of those things were on the line, I stood firm in my boundaries and said, no, thank you. And I was absolutely shocked. And I was, because I expected better from this person, because you always expect from the other what you are within. So if they think terrible things about you, that's because inside they probably would do terrible things or think terrible things about themselves, right? There's mirrors and reflections all around us. So if you're somebody that has an enormous amount of integrity and someone calls you on your integrity, it's because they lack it, not because you do. So that's what I mean. Like, not all reflections are the reflection of you. Sometimes it's a reflection or a projection from them towards you that's just reflecting them on the inside. So who would like a card? We'll do some cards because, like I said, my my angel helper who is on the way isn't here yet. So we're just going to hang out until she shows up, so that yay! All right, awesome. Hey. It flew, Nikki. Haha. So I'll give you one from this deck. This is the Way deck. And then I'll actually, because we've got time and because I do adore you, Nikki, I don't know what it is. I feel like I know you from somewhere, or like maybe probably soul family or something. Because there's just a connection. Like I feel like I've known you before, and there's possible too. I've lived in a whole bunch of different places, moved across Canada numerous times. So this card here is called the Creative Spark. Yeah, so like you're probably meant to hang out with me. All right. So Creative Spark. Affirmation. Creativity flows naturally through me. Remembrance. Creativity is expression, not performance. It increases energy when used. So small outputs keep it active. So this is like asking, and it'll tell you, the practice is to create for 10 minutes, no editing, and stop on time. So you're just going to set yourself a timer, go do something creatively for 10 minutes. When the timer's done, you're done with that and move on. And it's not something for production, right? In the mornings, in the morning, I would get up and meditate. And then after meditating, I would do yoga. And then once I'm done the yoga, I go and sit down and I paint. And I would paint every morning. And for quite a while, I was just painting for fun, for no purpose other than like maybe I'd give the picture to somebody at some point or just hold on to it. But then I started painting my cards, which was really, really cool. Oh, amazing. Amazing. So I started painting my cards. And once I started doing that, then even though I was doing art, it was kind of a productive art. So keep that in mind, that sometimes we need to just have art just for fun, for no purpose, for nobody. It's just for you. I love it. That's awesome. What made you stop, or what made you transition? I guess transition. I think you're probably just just evolution, right? Just evolving and growing. All right, Spirit, can I get a good message from the Ethereum Tarot for Nikki? And we're going to start the meditation, like I said, once my supply run gets here, and then we'll do our little thing. Okay. We'll do our meditation. Oh, you know what? I can look for that too. There's something that I wanted to look for. Hang on, and I'll do your cards for you, Nikki. I'm looking at it's so weird because my keyboard's sideways. I could actually do it better here. Space. Emma, sorry guys. For the meditation, I just wanted an image of something so I could show you guys, show you what it showed. All right, so we've got the Three of Earth. So the Three of Earth is the card that talks about collaboration. And when we're looking at the Three of Earth, or anything that's Earth, this is more of a long-term thing, right? It's a real steady element versus, like an air would be much faster, same with fire. So the three is more of a long-term collaboration that you would have. So this speaks about teamwork, collaboration, craftsmanship, skill mastery, and shared goals. The Three of Earth invites you to embrace cooperation as a powerful tool for growth. Whether working in a team, refining your craft, or building a dream, this card affirms that success is created through steady effort, shared vision, and dedicated skill. Oh, no, that's okay. All right. So the three of Earth is more long-term collaborations or relationships that it speaks of, because the Earth element is a much more long and stable element. So when we're looking at that, if you're looking at collaborations or mastery, right, that's something that's going to take a little bit longer, or the collaboration is going to last longer with the people. It's just a more stable energy. So the Three of Earth invites you to embrace cooperation as a powerful tool for growth, whether working in a team, refining your craft, or building a dream. This card affirms that success is created through steady effort, shared vision, and dedicated skill. And the other card that came out for you is none other than the Hanged Man in Major Arcana. He's number 12. So the Hanged Man in upright is talking about surrender, patience, seeing things differently, divine timing, releasing control, deep spiritual insight, and shifting perspective. The Hanged Man reminds you that sometimes the greatest action is inaction. Embrace the fire, let yourself be transformed, and trust that in this moment of stillness, there's still transformation is taking place. There we go. Transformation is taking place. TT, thank you, sweetheart. Transformation is taking place. So even in the moment when it feels still, there's still a lot of work that's happening, and there's a lot of change that, and growth that's occurring. And oftentimes it's in the stillness when the stuff's actually taking place. That's when we're doing the main integration part. I'm being guided to look at my book for a moment for this, because I have a bunch of things that are in the book, and I think there's something key. Hi. Well, I would love for you to follow me. Nice to meet you, Nikki. Would you like a card? We're doing cards. We're going to do a global meditation. I was explaining how I have a friend that's coming by and dropping off a couple of things for me because she was on her way down into this area. So I don't want to start the meditation and have that be disrupted, but we can talk about a couple other things as we're waiting. And I just want to grab my book really quick because there's something in the Hanged Man that I have to give to Nikki. There. All right. So since it's your first time, I'll give you a little introduction, and that might help other people that are watching to understand who I am. So my name's Tanya. I go by Sha'Ryah and Lorian. That is my soul name. I write under both names, Tanya Baldwin and Sha'Ryah and Lorian. I publish under both. I have been running my company for 5 years, just about. I started I've done so many different things, but I was a nurse for 20 years. I retired from my director of nursing and director of nursing position to open my own company after I went through a breakdown and a burnout that resulted in me having to heal from a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. I had CPTSD, ADHD, depression, anxiety, panic disorder, FND. Like I had all kinds of things thrown at me. And so I spent the better part of 1.5 to 2 years in the depths of healing because I had really no other choice. Hi, little itchy one. I had no choice, right? I had no choice but to do it. I wanted to get back to work so bad because my trauma, my identity was so much in my role, right? Oh, you're the director of nursing, right? It was so nice to be able to go and say that to people. And, and I loved, what the work that I had put in to get there. And so I really, really wanted to get back to it. But what I realized is most of the reason why I wanted to get back to it was because my nervous system did not like to sit still. I was outrunning my trauma. And when I had to sit there, well, then I had to deal with the pain, or I had to deal with the thoughts. I had to deal with the emotions. And so it was really, really challenging. And there was nothing I could do but go through it. There was no way. I mean, I could have probably been put on disability and stayed on disability. I could have gave up at any point in time and just said, you know what? Okay, fine. Fill me full of narcotics and other, fill me full of medications. And I'll just, go to my appointments and I'll just stay at home. And, I can be on assistance for the rest of my life. But that was not who I am. I have so much drive as well. And, that's not who I am. I wanted, to work through those things. I did not want to be on medications. I wanted to get my life back. And So after being on medications for a really long time and them playing around, and I really felt like my brain was soup, like they were just playing and yeah, whatever. And I didn't like that. I couldn't drive because of the medications that I was on. I was really stuck at home. I wasn't getting any better. And my doctor or team was like, well, we're going to do these changes. And it was all this like weird stuff. You're going to lower this to here, and then you're going to add this one, and then you're going to get that one to here, and then you're going to lower this one down, and then you're going to move that one out. When that one's out, you're going to put this one in. And I went, no, we're not. We're going to just get rid of them. Right? We are just going to get rid of them. It's layers, right? It's just layers. So when I went, I said, no more. I said, what we're going to do is we're going to continue. We're going to take that medication out. And as we continue we're going to take them out until I feel different. And when I feel different, then we'll address what what to do about medications. Well, I was able to get off all of the medications, and I started doing lifestyle changes, massive lifestyle changes. I changed my diet completely. I was eating so much takeout, and I was, processed foods. And sometimes, and when my partner and I would go to the store, it would look like two children got their parents' credit card and was like blowing it on candy, right? So it was quite the change to go from that. Then I also changed my lifestyle with exercise. I started meditating. I started becoming obsessed with the now. I started doing the actual work and using all the tools that are out there, right? There's so much breath work. There's so many things that are available to us. And now I don't take any medications. I've been cleared by all of my medical team. I'm not followed by any physicians. I've been told if I have flare up of, symptoms to go back to the clinic, but I've been 5 years free now with no symptoms, which has been just beautiful. I've taught for years, my whole life, even, as a nurse, I was teaching. I was always a tutor. So teaching was a natural aspect. And when I went through my healing journey, I realized that although having a therapist is a beautiful thing, if your therapist doesn't give you any homework, if your therapist doesn't give you any tools to use, if they don't challenge you, then that talk therapy is going to be very flat, and you're not really going to get into the depths of it. Right? You need to really, you need to delve deeper, and you also need to have those tools, right? You need to have those tools in your toolkit. I showed one last week, and it's the one that I just love because it's so easy to take anywhere. And it's where you rub your thumb against your fingers and you just feel the sensation of the touch. You focus on that because that's going to ground you into your body, right? And when we are in an anxious, overwhelmed state, we tend to disassociate a bit, some of us a lot, because that's a trauma response, but we end up being in our heads, right? And our brains are oftentimes going, but we don't get the pop and we don't get the jack in the box, right? So this is a grounding technique, but you're going to combine it with a couple other things, right? Because this is only one part, is getting into your body. If I'm in my body, that's great. But if I'm still in my mind going, oh my God, and I'm doing this, they're counteracting. It's not going to do the same, right? So if you start with your fingers, then you want to get yourself into your body, you're going to take control of your mind. And when you take control of your mind, you're going to start saying 2 questions with 2 answers following it. You can do 3 of them, but the 2 works. So while you're rubbing your fingers, you're going to ask yourself repeatedly, where am I? Here. What time is it? Now. Because that grounds you into the here and now. And then if you want, you can add, who am I? I am. Right? So that's the 3rd one that goes in there. So you've got your grounding. Now you're taking control of your thoughts and giving it a good track to run on because it's grounding you in the present moment. And then you're just going to slow your breath down because your breath is the brake in your nervous system. I can't tell my heart to just start beating at 60 beats per minute. Can you beat at 60? Right? Like I can't force that. I can't get my temperature to be in normal range just by commanding it to. But I can slow my breath down. Oh. I wonder why it was telling me multi-window was open. Weird. Weird. My phone's giving me a little thingy. I'm heating them up. You know what? We might, I'm hesitant to try it, but I'm going to give a card. I'm going to give a couple cards first. Like I said, I'm a little bit concerned about starting the meditation and then having it interrupted. Because I know that as soon as someone starts showing up, my dog's going to bark. And I don't want to interrupt the meditation with that. All right. So I'm going to pull a card for you, Nikki. I'm going to pull a card from the 44. Nope, they're the 44. The 44 keys of the way. There we go. The 44 keys of the way. All right. Whoops. I keep pulling on my thing and I'm going to knock that one down. All right. So the card that you got out is the greater vision. Your affirmation is, my life participates in a greater unfolding. Individual action contributes to collective patterns. Perspective widens decision-making. Meaning increases with context. So your practice is to define your current project, write its larger impact, and then align one action to that impact. Now, there's some of the stuff that we were doing earlier applies as well, right? From those particular, you're just going to sit there then. And I'm going to pull you one from the Ethereum Tarot as well. And I know that if you're driving, little witchy one, it's probably hard to say yes or no to a card. But if you're able to, so we've got the Hierophant. Okay, so the Hierophant is the card that came out for Major Arcana, and from the Ethereum Tarot, and he is the sacred guide. Upright, he's spiritual mentorship, divine wisdom, sacred knowledge, traditions, initiation, learning from higher sources, and connection to universal truth. The Hierophant reminds you that truth is both ancient and ever evolving. Seek wisdom with an open heart. Integrate. I can't even read my own writing. Integrate what resonates and honor your role as both student and teacher. Your path is sacred. Walk it with awareness and devotion. Okay. It's a beautiful card. So we want to be looking within for, that's where we're going to be consulting with ourselves, right? Is really, we're going to go within to tap into our inner guidance. When we have a lot of trauma, we may not be fully connected with our body. So we may need some things like some somatic experiencing tools and stuff like that for bringing us back into our body and allowing us to stay present when things get chaotic or when things get disruptive. If you're in the middle of a disagreement with somebody and you start to feel yourself get elevated, one of the best things you can do is say, I'll be back. Just give me a minute. Time out. I'm getting elevated and I'm not going to be able to respond appropriately. I'm going to be reactionary. So just, give me 30 minutes or whatever, give a time frame. I'll be back and we can continue the conversation when cooler heads will prevail. Right. And it's a benefit for doing that to anybody, right? Anybody that you're in a space where you start to feel reactionary. It's always good to have tools that you can use in that moment. Heart focused breathing is one of my favorites. And it has been, because once you get to where you can focus on your heart, breathing in and breathing out, and you can focus on your heart and slow your breathing down to 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out, and just continue that pace, you're going to keep yourself, your brain and your heart is going to be in coherence, and you're going to be able to make decisions better. Even if someone, like you're in a really tense situation, you can do that. And it's going to keep you much more grounded and present than if you're not doing that breath work. So and that's going to help you to stay in your body. It's going to help you to respond better as well, instead of being reactionary. All right. I'm going to pull Little Witchy One a card. Whoop, or the card's just going to fly right out. It is. This is one of my favorite cards too. All right. So the card that you got it's one of the core principles of the way, and it's called the inner witness. And the inner witness, the affirmation is, I observe my life with clarity and compassion. The remembrance, the witness sees without collapsing into the experience. This creates space between stimulus and response. From that space, wiser choices emerge. Compassion grows when you can see without judgment. So the practice is to name the emotion that's present, say, this is here, and then breathe with it for 60 to 90 seconds. I stopped at 2 boys. I stopped at 2 boys. I have a wonderful course available at my website, which is called Return to Center. And it's a 10-day self-paced course. It's $88 Canadian. So it's definitely reasonable. It's filled with so many extras. You even get this PDF with it, which I'm going to flip through it. You'll see in the PDF, this is the way that the PDF is constructed. If I pull that page over. So this would be a reflection of day 1. So the practice that I demonstrated in the video that I recorded for day 1 is reiterated here, and as well the integration question. When you flip to the back side of the page, though, this is all bonuses. So you get on every single day, you get bonus reflection prompt, grounding practice, integration notes, and centering statement for each of the 10 days. So you realistically get at least 20 practices in that 10-day course. So definitely check that out. Okay, little witchy one. I'm going to pull you one of the Etherian tarot cards as well. You know what? I could have done it. I'm pretty sure we could have went through the meditation. Wait, that's too many. But only one was in a specific direction, and that's the one that called to me. And that is the High Priestess. Hi, Nana. All right. So the High Priestess. The High Priestess is deep intuition, sacred knowledge, inner wisdom, connection to the subconscious, divine feminine energy, dreams and vision, and trusting the unseen. So this is the time to trust your inner knowing, which is interesting that you got the inner witness and the High Priestess. So there's a lot of inner knowing here. The inner knowing, and seek wisdom from beyond the material world. The High Priestess is your reminder that true power is found in stillness, in listening, and in aligning with unseen forces that guide you. Honor your inner voice. It knows the way. So those cards were perfect. That's awesome. And Carol, would you like a card? I don't know who else is watching, but if you want a card, let me know. Right. Carol's like, yes, I would love a card. I love these cards, please. Oh, we almost threw the whole deck. I need to get these cards laminated and stuff. All right, we got one on that. We'll get you one of the Etherian Tarot cards, as that's what I decided to do. One way and one Etherian Tarot. Oh. I almost feel like maybe just, who wants the meditation? Who wants the meditation? All right, get a card. Get a card for Carol. Spirit, can I get a good message for Carol, please? Oh. Interesting. All right. So we've got the flame card, or sorry, it is part of the flame section of cards. It's one of the core principles of the way, and it is the quiet mind. The affirmation, I allow my mind to rest in silence. Remembrance, silence is not absence, it is access. When input reduces, insight increases. The mind can learn to rest without losing awareness. From quiet, precision returns. Practice, set a 3-minute timer, no input. Each thought, return to breath. So you get to do a 3-minute meditation. In the major arcana, it was the 2 of air that was in the inverted. So we'll turn that around. And it's talking about when it's in the reverse, you're overcoming doubt, you're making a decision, you're seeing through illusion, and you're gaining inner peace. That's the positive direction, right? The Two of Air reminds you that clarity comes from stillness. Do not fear the unknown. Embrace it with trust, and the way forward will reveal itself. Isn't that hilarious that we're doing the way card, and both times they coincided and they both said the way in the other deck of cards? That's hilarious. I love it. All right. Does anybody else want a card while we're waiting? I don't think that that anyone else does, but if you do, please put a yes down. Put a yes down. Like the live, comment. It's divine. It's totally divine. All right. I'm going to see what Spirit has for me today, because I haven't even done that for myself. All right, Spirit, what's my message? Let's see what what's my key of the way today, right? What's the key for my way today? Few of them. Apparently I've got some stuff. So 2 fell face down and 2 fell face up. So do we take the face up or the face down? And interestingly, look at the tone. Either the like girl, right? How did these end up in the same directions, right? That's the other part about it, right? But okay, so we had the inner witness. We've already read this one because that was the card for Little Witchy one. We read the returning light because we read that. Did we read the returning light? Did we? Anyway, we'll read these 3 cards because they're not cards that I don't think anyone else has had, and I do like them. All right, so we got card 40. Card 40 is the sacred responsibility. The affirmation, I honor the responsibility of conscious living. Remembrance, awareness increases choice. Choice increases responsibility. Alignment requires follow through. Practice, identify one aligned choice. 2, execute it today. And 3, track the results, right? Those metrics. All right, so the second card, we'll go with in order. So 40, 42, and 44. 42 is the circle of life. The affirmation is, I move with the cycles of life. The remembrance, cycles organize growth and release. Resisting endings prolongs them. Accepting cycles improves timing. Practice, name one cycle ending. Oh, I got a cycle ending. 2, complete one closure action. We're going to do a cord burning ceremony. 3, note what opens. I'll keep you posted and let you know what happens. All right. The last card that came out is the 44, and this is the returning light. The affirmation is, I return again and again to the light within. We did read this card. This is part of the collective reading. Return is the mechanism of alignment. The light remains accessible at all times. Repetition stabilizes access. So close our eyes. If you're driving, don't. Please keep them open. Safety first. Close your eyes for 60 seconds. Feel the body. You can even put your hand on your chest. See, because I know that's why I know we did this, because I walked us through this. And you're just going to say, I return to the light. I return to the light. Beautiful. Did anybody else want a card? No. All righty. I didn't pull one of these. Let me pull one of these. Pharisees. What is it that I need to know today? Three of Fire. Progress, expansion, creative momentum, trust in the journey, taking action, alignment with higher purpose. The Three of Fire calls you to keep going, trust in the path ahead, and embrace the momentum that is carrying you toward greatness. You are moving with divine purpose. This is only the beginning. I'll take it. I claim it. I got it. Guys, I did not know she was going to be this long. We could have totally done the meditation. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Carol. That's beautiful. Thank you. Hi, Michelle. Anybody that joins is open for a card if until we get going on the meditation. But while we're waiting, I'm going to do this because why not? All right. So this is a series of books that I called, the whole series is called The Unlikely Heroine Chronicles. And there are 6 books in it. One book gets released on every either equinox or solstice. Tiana is the winter solstice. Parisa is the spring equinox. Sha'Ryah is the summer solstice. And Mariah is the fall equinox. And there's 2 more because there's 6 of them. So the latest book to get published is Parisa and the Mermaid Who Is Afraid of Water. And I put extra into this book, and I'm so proud of it. If you're somebody that has that teaches and stuff like that, there's even questions at the back of the book to encourage reader engagement. So it just gets the children to answer some questions. It's just such a cute little book. The whole premise came from, I was sitting on the live, remember? I was sitting on the live one day and I talked about how I was going to write this story about Tanya, the goblin slayer, sort of. No goblins were hurt in the making of this story was the joke that I made about it. And that was the first book that came out, was Tiana, the Goblin Slayer, sort of. And I did change it a bit, but it's about a goblin who is found in a bakery, and the townspeople are just, oh, it's a eek. And Tiana, who's always willing to go into, and is brave, she decided to go in and check it out. And anyway, they ended up befriending the goblin and teaching the townspeople that he wasn't actually that bad. He was just looking to fit in. And then Parisa befriends the pixies. We all know pixies are little, they can be little tricksters. They can be little bit. They could just be a little bit. Anyway, Parisa, she loves fashion, and the pixies they've been keeping their eye on her because they love what she designs, and they want her to design all their outfits for the spring fling. And what Parisa finds out is that the pixies aren't so bad. They have a lot more in common than they thought they did. Then Sha'Ryah, she comes across a wolf boy who he was abandoned, and wolves adopted him, and he became a little wolf boy. He didn't really fit in with the wolves either, and when he would turn into a werewolf, it wasn't a good situation. So Sha'Ryah teaches the wolf to meditate so he can become a werewolf instead of a werewolf. Then we had Mariah and the Pegasus who wouldn't fly. The Pegasus who won't fly. And it's just about, those experiences that scare us and, alter our path, and, just having friends that are willing to sit with you and encourage you through the way and, remind you of your strength. And then we had Tiana and the Pegasus, and the Phoenix who refused to burn. The Phoenix was like, fire, not for me. You know what I really like? Water. And so this is just a beautiful book about that. And then we have Parisa and the Mermaid Who Is Afraid of Water. So again, she has an experience, and because of the patience and and friendship of somebody, they're able to overcome that fear. And so I love this series. It's one of a couple of series that I have going, but this one I wrote it Tiana was me, but Tanya, but Tiana. Parisa is my niece. Sha'Ryah is my niece, and Mariah is my granddaughter. So it was a book for all four of us girls. And yes, I just love them. All right. I don't know what's happening with that. But with her coming, I was hoping that, like I said, that she would be here and we could get started on, it's 11:44, and we could get started on this. Yeah, I have 20 books published right now. Most of them are kids' books. So I have Jessie Learns to Create Calm Spaces, which teaches your child how to create a calm space. It goes through color coding and emotion, and it goes through the 4-element mindfulness technique. So grounding for the earth element, breathing for the air element, tricking your nervous system for the water element, and then firing up your imagination for the fire element. And I wrote a book for my oldest grandson. It's a series called The Adventures of Jack and Nanny B. There's only one story in that series so far, but it is Jack and Nanny B, or the Adventures of Jack and Nanny B Monsters Edition. So Jack and Nanny B go on adventures, and in this adventure, they are hunting monsters, and they find that monsters are just children who have been, rejected or have been, made to feel that they were unloved and unwanted. Working today. So they, anyway, they show the monsters love and remind them of who and what they are, and they become children again. This is doing a really terrible job of explaining that book. I apologize. Nanny B is armed with love, and Jack is armed with light, and it's through love and light that they turn the monsters back into the children, because they learn to be that they're accepted. And then I wrote a series for my youngest grandson, and they are called Choo Choo Charlie and His Adventures with Nanny B. And the Choo Choo Charlie and His Adventures with Nanny B is about no spitting, no biting, no hitting, and no kicking, because he was 3 when I wrote the book, and those were some really good things for him to learn. And yeah, so really, really exciting. That book is one of my best sellers, actually. The Choo Choo Charlie. Choo Choo Charlie and Jessie are they're the top 2 vying for each one. Oh, it's just so cute. Here, I'll show you it, and then you'll really want to buy it. It's available on Amazon worldwide, shipped to your door, or you can get it as an ebook from my website. All right. This is Jessie. And this is the cool part about Jessie is at the very back of the book, there's all these pages that have the technique in them in different colors, which is you're able to pull out, so the child could pick their favorite color and then they could carry it with them. And I even left some white ones in the back of the book, so that if they wanted to color it a color that they didn't have, or if something happened, there's several coloring pages. Then they have that. So it teaches calm spaces, which is a technique that I did. It combined 2 things, right? It combined the color coding and emotion, and then the 4-element mindfulness technique, which is not my technique. I just added the color coding and emotion part and then melded it together, which just enhances the effect of this, right? Because when you fire up your imagination using a color that you have encoded to a specific emotion, that is going to bring the emotion to your body much, much quicker. So it's just a faster way to help you get to a calm space. I love you too. This is the Jack and Charlie book, so you can see that. We did these little guys, bead guys, and that's what formed the story. I wrote it when I was visiting him one time. He asked me if I'd write him a story, and this was the story that got born from that. That's me and my guy. So it's just such a good story. I should read this one on the air one time and have it. And then again, Choo Choo Charlie and His Adventures with Nanny B. So the person who spits isn't a person, it's actually an ostrich. And the thing that bites or tries to bite is not a child, it's a baby alligator. And then the one that hits is a monkey. And the ones that kick, well, luckily enough, that has nothing to do with Jack or Charlie, sorry, because it's the kangaroos that kick each other. So no one got hurt though. No one got hurt. So it's really cute. By the end of the book, Charlie's the one that's saying to the kangaroos, no hitting. He's the one that's telling them not to do it. So those are the other 3 books that I originally started publishing before I got into some of the other series that I did. So there. What do you think we should do, guys? Do you think we should run it? Do you think we should risk it? Do you think we should do the global meditation? Or do you think I should record the meditation and then we can just do it when we have time? That way I won't end up starting it and then getting interrupted. I'm so nervous about doing, like, I just don't want it. I don't want someone showing up, like I said, and then the dog barking, and then you guys, being pulled out of the meditation that you're in. It would be much nicer to just do it all together, and have it a nice effect. I have to turn the heat down on that because it's getting too hot. All right, I'm going to pull from this book one of the other you know what, we can do a short one. We'll just take the chance that nothing's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. 5 minutes, okay? So we're going to, in the next 5 minutes, we are going to do a quick little meditation. We're going to focus on peace, love, unity, respect. Okay, we'll focus on those 4 topics. Okay, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm not going to keep using that. That was something that had been put out for that big global meditation that everyone was doing and that I was a part of as well. But going forward, I'm going to make a really special, really, really amazing meditation for the world, for you, for everybody. But for right now, we'll do a shorter one. I'll walk you through it, and we will just ask that nobody shows up until I'm done with the meditation. Okay? We'll just be positive that no one's going to show up until we're done the meditation. All right. I'm going to find the only problem with music is when I do put music on in the background, it records kind of not as great, right? The recording's not quite as great. Yeah. Do you know what the flower of life looks like? Who's on watching? Do you know what the flower of life looks like? Actually, I think I have it on. No, that's probably downstairs. I was thinking I could print off. I could grab. No, not behind me. All right. Let's do our meditation. I'll throw a little bit of music on in the background and my keyboard's not there. Okay, perfect. It's straight to YouTube. And then we can go to the copyright-free music so it won't censor. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure the volume's not too high. Okay. I'm going to go on this one and turn it down, turn the master. Okay, I feel like that should not overpower my voice. It should be good. Okay, so we're going to do a meditation now. Okay, and in the event that we get interrupted, I will re-record it at another time. Okay, alrighty. So when I do my meditations, I like to really connect into my body, right? And intention's huge, right? So we should be setting a good intention. And the intention that we are setting right now is that this is global. This is a global meditation, and we are going to sit in unity consciousness. We're going to send out peace. We're going to send out love, and we're going to send out respect. Like I said, we'll change this at some point because I do have a plan for a really big meditation. Okay, so first things first, make sure you're in a safe position. You can put your device down. That if got a little out of it, you got really into your meditation, that if you fell over, you're not going to hurt yourself, right? Like I've done that where I've been like really, really into meditation, kind of jerk forward, right? I want you to be safe. So make sure that you're safe, that you're okay to close your eyes, and we'll begin. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is breathe in through our nose, down into our belly. I put one hand on my lower belly, so on the sacral, and I put my other hand on the heart. And this is a beautiful way for you to cue in when you're breathing. So breathe into your lower hand, and then the upper hand. And then out nice and slow, allowing yourself to sink into that space that comes up. We're going to continue with another deep breath into the lower hand, up to the top, out through first lips, sinking in, and another breath in and out. Continue breathing deeply, allowing yourself to sink lower. As we enter into this space, we're going to set some intentions. We're going to set the intention that this space is protected by Mother, Father, Prime Creator. This space is protected under universal laws, the original divine organic law. There is a shield surrounding us in this space. For those of you that can envision what the flower of life looks like, I want you to see that image before you. For those of you who do not, trust that your higher self knows what the flower of life looks like, and you're still being guided. This flower of life, we want this to flow through not just our system, but also through the entire field. See that symbol above your head, larger than what your arms can reach, somewhere between 6 and 9 feet. This beautiful symbol, sacred geometry, it carries codes and laws within it. And as we pass this flower of life through our field, we are healing ourselves, aligning our DNA with the original divine organic. Allow it to flow through your feet. Right now, it's lower to your nose. Maybe it's down to your chin. Maybe it's lowered to your chest. Allow it to continue to flow through your feet. And as it lands on the floor of your feet, it's going to expand until it's larger than the earth. This giant flower of life is now going to pass through the earth's field layer, just as it did for you. To give it some time to pass through. This is aligning everything with the original divine organic before corruption, before distortion, manipulations, or lies, before things were hijacked. As that flower life flows through the earth and functions through the years, know that we have sent that divine healing to everyone who's open to receive it. And we've connected everything, including Gaia, with the original divine identity. Part of Mother Gaia includes the elements of fire, for those of you who are aware of what the tetrahedron looks like, we're going to use that next. But before we do so, we're going to conjure peace into the body. For some, envisioning a favorite vacation, a cozy week at your house, or a day where you felt very, very peaceful, or even just sit in peace. Once you have the feeling of peace in your body, I want you to send that to your body, straight to your heart. There's a beautiful crystalline core. We're sending it to the core so that Gaia can amplify that to every soul on the planet, whether human or not. And just next to the emotional love, think about somebody or something that you love very much. And once you've brought that feeling of love to your body, send that as a gift to the heart of God to be amplified and sent to all. Next, you're going to bring the feeling of respect. I hope you have experiences where you have felt respected and where you have felt respect for others that you can draw on as well. And again, once you have that feeling, send it to the heart of Mother God to be amplified and sent out through increasing. As we join here together today, or at whatever time that you are here, we are in the now together. Time is an illusion. It exists. In this moment, through our connection, we are displaying unity consciousness, connecting across vast distances, creating a powerful effect. As we think about how what I do to myself affects the collective does to itself affects me, we can recognize that unity consciousness and share it with my guide and our being. And finally, teacher Adrian, if you know what it is, if you don't, I'm going to explain. When we're looking at a marker, we're going to take a three-sided pyramid triangle, and it is facing upward. We're going to take another triangle, exactly the same, and we're going to have it facing downwards. And these two triangles are nested within one another. Your personal vehicle is the marker, and the Merkaba spins, each section spinning in one direction, while the other spins in another direction. The Merkaba sits with the triangle that's facing up at the top, the triangle that's facing down at the bottom. We have so does not. And what we're going to do now is tap into not just ours, we're going to spin the top one clockwise and the bottom one counterclockwise. As we spin both us and our guide, we're going to increase the rate of spinning. Don't worry if you don't really mind how to do it. It's not transcendent. Just know that you are doing it by staying intentional. And always coming together to spin the work of our guide to help with our essential process. It's just align ourselves and our guide and our sent healing to everyone who is looking for we send peace, love, respect, and unity, and then we did some good work helping with our guide's ascension. The final thing that I would like us to do is planetary karma. Let us now send support to Stargate 10. This is the Stargate connecting and some support, whatever that looks like, whatever that could be. It could be soothing the energies, it could be protection, it could be amplification. Though I feel in this situation it's more of a calming, soothing energy where something to stabilize. Okay, I'm going to return back to this moment in time and space. We're going to start to focus on, if you're like me and you get your hands on your chest and your sacrum, you can start to move your fingers and tap them behind your chest. And move it around a little bit. You start to feel your feet, feel your fingers, start to wiggle them. Maybe you roll your shoulders. I want you to take a nice breath in, let it go, and open your eyes. How was that? I'm going to pause the music. All ones there. How did you enjoy that? We're going to make a really good one, though. I'm going to use sacred geometry. There's a lot of information that I have, and there's a lot of posts that I want to do on a variety of things, like dimensions, your spine as an antenna, the 44 sacred teachings of Yeshua, Christ consciousness, energy management through a variety of things like sound and somatics. Between my nursing, my 4-year degree and my nursing, and then all the other classes and courses and stuff, like I love learning. I don't know if you're someone like me that loves learning, but I definitely love learning. So you'll have to leave me a comment and let me know how you felt that particular meditation was. And we'll keep working on making it just super powerful and effective for everybody. So everybody gets something, and we're supporting the collective at the same time, right? So there'll be some really, really good value to you working with this sacred geometry, and whether that's in healing or ascension, right? And I'll teach you some of that. Yeah. But you can also check out some of that stuff in a much more deep capacity if you join my website, at my website, which is linked in my bio. If you go there, you can sign up for my free group, Temple of Light. And that's completely free. There's other membership spaces, and as you go, the information that's shared in them deepens and deepens. And I do suggest that if you're somebody that's dealing with overwhelm, overthinking, you're just feeling fragmented or disconnected from yourself, check out the Return to Center 10-day self-paced course. Like I said, there's at least 20 different practices that you get in it. There's lots of integration stuff. So do check that out on the website. It is very inexpensive at $88 for the entire thing. And like I said, check it out on my website. And I will see you Sunday at 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern for the celestial briefing. And we'll check in and see what the living sky is looking like. I only work in true sidereal. So if you're looking at the readings on my web page, all of those readings are going to be in true sidereal, and which means working with the living sky. So it won't be tropical. If you're looking at your tropical astrology, you probably know your sun sign, and some people might know their big three. And then you've got the very few that have done any depth of exploration into the rest of their natal chart. For those of you who are not familiar with that, then you should really check out the readings that I have at Anshara'El, because they are looking at the living sky, and that's going to give you the true outlook of who you are and the energy that you're working with in this incarnation. And it also helps you to work with the living sky, which you can continue to check in with me every Sunday to see what the sky is doing. All right, guys, that's it for me. I usually don't go this live this long on Saturdays. It's more of a check-in and then a meditation. But I hesitated to start the meditation because I was expecting someone, and then we just ended up doing it anyway. So I'm so glad that I was able to record without an issue. And I'm sorry that it wasn't at the time that it usually happens at. So do check that out. Come back and hang out with me Sunday, 6 p.m. Mountain, all times Mountain. So Sunday at 6 p.m. celestial briefing, where we check in with the living sky and how to work with the energies. On Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain, it is embodied wisdom. So this is where I do all those things. Like we'll talk about dimensions. We'll talk about, the different races that there are. And I'm not talking about, like English or, Hispanic or anything like that. I'm talking about different, like we could talk about star seeds or, other like alien races. And we could talk about, all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, the point of Wednesday is this. It's only information until you embody it. It does not become lived, or it does not become true. It does not become wisdom until you actually embody the truth of what you've learned. If you learned that your food was actually, like if you learned that you were going to a burger place and it was actually dog, like they were just scooping up dogs off the street and feeding it to you, then it's your responsibility to say, I don't want to do that. And then you stop doing it. When you know these things, even if it's like, maybe there's a slight little possibility it's not true. If you have a notion that that is true and you continue to do it, then that means that you're consenting to it. You're agreeing. I want to eat dog. Well, I don't. So that's what embodied wisdom is about, right? You can know the truth and do absolutely nothing about it. And that's just information. It's not going to change anything. You have to know the truth and then take action on that truth and live it out every single day. What your routines and habits are, what you're living every day is the reality you're creating. So if you get up every day and you have like terrible habits, then you're going to imagine that your life's not going to improve like in a positive way because of those habits. Like if I get up every day and I chain smoke all day long, then, I won't be surprised that I'm coughing or I've got, other health issues that I'm dealing with, considering the knowledge that we have, not about nicotine, but the knowledge that we have about the chemicals that are also packed with the nicotine, right? It's not the nicotine that is, or the tobacco that's the culprit. If you take tobacco and you just go get tobacco, it's an entirely different product than what's in cigarettes. Cigarettes have so many chemicals in them. It's important that we understand that, right? So, but if I'm doing that, I have to understand that I'm doing something that's got chemicals in it. So if I'm ingesting those chemicals, then it's going to have an effect on me because my body's not meant to have those chemicals in it. So then my future is going to be the result of those chemicals that I'm ingesting, right? That's the way to look at that. So your habits today is what creates your tomorrow. Look at what you're doing today, make small little changes so that they are supporting the tomorrow that you want. So if you want more balance and you want to, return to yourself, then put practices in that help you to do that. And check out that return to center program that I have at Anshara'El, or the readings, or, do the other thing, jump into a free group. Karen, would you like a card? I've only got 10% battery life on that, but I will pull a card for anyone that's here right now. These are my 44 keys to the way oracle, 44 keys of the way, which is about, if you want a card, but you have to say yes. I was almost just going to give you one. But you have to want one. Otherwise, if you're good, please say hi and show me and say where you're from. Put a like down if you're, tap. You're good, Karen? Because the card that came out was the grounded step. Okay, that was the card that was going to come out for you. And the only reason why I'm giving it to you is because I don't know if you're in a position where maybe you can't type and you want the card, because this is what came out. So the grounded step is the affirmation is, I move through life with stability and awareness. Remembrance. Grounding converts insight into action. Without it, ideas remain abstract. Stability reduces reactivity and increases follow through. Practice. Feel your feet for 60 seconds. Then take 10 slow steps. Keep your attention on the contact with the ground. So that's your grounded practice today. All right, guys, I love you. Have a beautiful day. I will see you back here 6 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow night for the Celestial Briefing, and then on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And then we'll be back here on Saturday again at 10:45 for Return to Center, the global meditation, and also an energy check-in. Okay, so I'll see you guys at those times, and otherwise go check out my website, follow me, like, comment, share, do all that stuff. Support a girl. She's trying to make some money. She's trying to pay her rent. Support a girl. All right, love you guys. Oh, that one's gonna love you guys. Have a beautiful day. And happy Easter for those that are celebrating. I don't celebrate holidays, but for those that are, happy Easter.